Please excuse the mess. The SonarFeed appears to be having a few difficulties.
And we're live for SonarFeed, episode 140. At the Berliner Pub in Renton, Washington, here with a special guest, the one and only Seattle Nathan. Welcome.
Excellent.
Welcome, man. Good
What's
to have
up?
you.
How's it going?
Good to have you, man.
Good to be here.
Excellent. Welcome to SonarFeed. This is episode number 140.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
Of
awesome.
SonarFeed. This is 3+ years into it now, and we welcome you in tonight. I am Aaron Riley, a.k.a. Sonar Riley on Twitter. Across from me,
I am Hugo Garcia. I had to almost think about it for a second. It is a Monday. At Mi Vida Seattle.
and sitting across from, no, next to you, across from me, is our special guest
I'm Nathan Murphy. I'm at Seattle Nathan.
on Twitter. There we go. Excellent. Well, welcome in today. We are going to talk a little bit about Sounders 2, FC2,
Yeah.
Sounders FC1.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about
Torres.
refs. The refs, because you're a ref. I named the episode 2 R's, 4 E's, 1 F, and referee. So 'cause I thought it'd be kind of fun to have that, a little joke. We talk about that a lot on the show, and we figured that'd be a good one. Learn more about you and kind of go from there. But we have to do a little bit of housekeeping as always.
Absolutely.
Kind of before the show. One thing we like to do is say a big get up to for you joining us. Thank you, Sparkle Donkey and Galazzo for fueling the show as always. We should talk a little bit about the rain, as was mentioned here as well, because they had a hell of a match last night.
That was fun to watch, man. I watched that.
I watched 3/4 of it. Once they went up 3, I'm like, okay, I had to switch over to
The whistle
get the
was
kids to
like
bed.
30 seconds after that. That doesn't
Well,
count.
I know, but I had to run away, so I felt like I don't like leaving early.
Right.
I'm like, I'll wait till the players do their full loop and they
Sure.
go to ECS and do the ECS before I leave my seat.
For a while
so,
there, man, I was so tired of hearing Ashley Harris.
Yep.
It's like, man, who is this Ashley Harris?
Yep.
It's killing me. She kept just. But anyhow, we got the win.
That's good. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's just I was out with my brother-in-law and his wife were in town over the weekend, and we were out last night at dinner. We went to bar trivia up at Atlantic Crossing, and we were
nice.
there. And during the rain game, I had recorded it, but of course they were showing it.
Yeah.
And it was kind of fun to hear the whole place go nuts every time
Yeah.
they scored, and then when the whistle went. That was cool.
I love it. I loved it. I love to hear that. I'm so happy to hear
Yeah,
that they're
man.
getting more love.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. When the whole Sounders women's rain kind of stuff happened and there was a lot of infighting between the different NWSL league owners or people who wanted to be, I was kind of like, I don't need more drama, so I'm going to step back and just let it all shake
Is this
out.
the third big attempt or the fourth big attempt?
Third.
I think it's the third. Might be the
third.
fourth.
Yeah,
but
I think about third.
I lost track, man.
it's the footing that they're on after 3 years is remarkable.
It is.
And a lot of it, there was a piece about this yesterday, a lot of it's about cooperation with MLS.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the one thing I think, though, like when you look at the Thorns down in Portland,
Oh,
one of the things that they
jeez.
have good relationship with is how close they are.
Yep.
And it's fun to see the Sounders now kind of get closer with that. But like I said, that whole Sounders women
It was awkward,
disagreement,
wasn't it?
really was.
Yeah.
And that stunted it, I think, at first. But, boy, they have done just about everything right since then,
Yep.
including hiring like their social media manager, she's done great, or whatever her title is, communications director, I don't know, whatever her title is. But, they've done a really good job. And
Yeah, they
the
have.
players, of course, are amazing. Laura Harvey, holy crap.
Yeah.
What a coach.
She won't be here for long.
No, that's right.
National team somewhere.
Exactly. She's amazing. She's fun to watch. So, okay, so before we go back in too much into this stuff, check it in. How you doing? How you been?
Good, man.
We haven't
Doing
talked.
good. Staying busy.
I saw you Saturday, but that's about
Yep,
it.
staying busy. Finally got back to S2
Yep.
on Saturday, so it was good. Even
We
though
missed you, bro.
I know, man. I miss being back, let me tell you. And felt a little rusty, but it was fun, man. It was cool. So I got that in the belt, and I'm
Good.
spending time with some family lately, doing
Good.
a lot of that.
That's
Yep.
good.
What about
Family's
you?
good. I tackled blackberry bushes and wisteria. I don't know which one I like least or less because wisteria that doesn't have the thorns, but it grows everywhere, and blackberries with the thorns make it a nightmare. But my 5-year-old and my 11-year-old both helped me get it done. and we did 6 dump runs over the last week and a half.
That reminds me, man. I used to hate helping my dad do yard work. It was one of the things I hated as a kid. Like, I despised it. And it was mostly because my dad would trick me. He would tell me, Mijo, we're just going to do this real fast. It's so simple. We'll be done in 30 minutes. 4 hours later.
It's a lie.
4 hours later, we're like, you said 30 minutes.
See, I bought him Dairy Queen as a reward, and my son, he cracks me up. I asked him to get the laundry yesterday, right? All of his laundry from upstairs. And I kind of thought, okay, he'd go pick up a pile, bring it down, whatever. He went up and he went in the laundry room by himself, got the laundry basket, emptied it out, went upstairs, got all the clothes, and filled the damn thing, and carried it down the stairs. And I'm like, it's as tall as he is almost. And I'm like, how did you?
Just glad you didn't get hurt.
Oh, I know. Well, yeah. What he was doing is he was sliding it down, and then, but it was okay. But I was like, he goes, Dad,
cool.
Can I do it every day now? I'm like, yes, please. Yes, please. In fact, here you go. Here's how you do the law. Here's how you put the soap in.
He's 5.
5.
Just my daughter's 3 and 4 months, so that's.
It gets once they get to about that age, the 4 or 5-year-old, they want to help so bad.
Oh, so does my daughter. She just makes everything worse when she tries.
I know. Trust me.
God bless her.
There was a little bit of that.
My niece was like that. She's 5 and 3. When she was 3, she was the same. She went to sweep and this and that. But she just moved stuff from one place to the other.
My wife actually just got her a broom that's her own size, so she stops knocking stuff off the counter with the long one.
That's what we did. That's exactly what we did. So he helped a lot. Actually, it was cool because he kind of helped put all the stuff in. Lee let me borrow his truck.
Okay. So
he was like, awesome. I get to throw it up in the truck, and then I stood him up there, and he got to stomp it down. So
there you go.
Yeah, he loved it. But yeah, it's awesome. It's super fun. But life's good, busy, crazy. I'm excited to be back talking again. We were off last week for the holiday. Nathan, we've been talking to you kind of in the background for a couple months now. After you stole our job at S2.
Pretty much.
I knew that was coming. I knew that.
8 minutes. It took 8 minutes. Who had 8 minutes?
Talk about stealing the thunder.
I'm joking, but after that happened, though, it was cool because we followed each other, and then we got to talk a lot.
Yeah.
We've done some DM behind the scenes kind of discussions as well. So super excited to have you here, kind of learn more about you.
It's great to be here. It's great to get to know you guys a little better. And the best thing about this Sounders 2 thing has been, for me, bigger exposure to all the great people in the Sounders community. It's just been so much fun. I've made a lot of Twitter friends. I've gotten to know people like James and people like you guys, and it's just been a ton of fun.
Exactly. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's learn a little bit more about Seattle Nathan, at Seattle Nathan Murphy. Tell us about you, what makes you tick, your family, whatever you want to share. Just kind of tell us who you are.
So you talked about the S2 broadcast competition this year. That I was so excited when they announced that because I'd been broadcasting in the PDL for a couple of seasons with a team that's called the Puget Sound Gunners now. They used to be the North Sound Seawolves. And that had fallen in my lap because I had filled in doing a high school baseball game on the internet for a guy, and that had fallen in my lap. There's this chain of events that goes all the way back to me being in high school and doing PA at my high school basketball games.
Great.
And there's just this chain of events, and it's the coolest thing that's landed me here. But my whole life, sports has been a huge thing for me, and you can't really see, but I'm not the most athletic guy. And it's been so neat to find in my adulthood different ways of being involved. I do referee a number of sports. Being a broadcaster, doing some public address, I just love being involved in sports in whatever ways are possible.
I'm always second that, man. And I relate it a lot to what the way you described that. Because one thing kind of led to another, and how it's cool that you still can connect and you're still at the sporting events and you've seen fans and you still get that reaction.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool, man. It's the best.
So about me as a sports person, one thing you guys got to know is
this is the part we're going to hate right here.
No, I don't know about that. We're going to get to the referee stuff later. But
no, I meant the Philly. The Philly.
If I'm going to be involved in something, I have to understand how it works.
Yes.
That's just me. I'm a mechanically inclined person, and I don't just mean like actual engines and stuff, though I'm a mechanical engineer. I got to understand how stuff works, and that leads to me being the guy who's read the NFL rulebook. Stuff like that.
Wow.
So even if I'm not actually officiating in a sport, I'm the kind of guy who figures out how it goes on and what this means and how that happened and why this happened and all of that. And it's translated really, really well to the broadcasting thing. It's I don't know that it's atypical for broadcasters, but it's an important thing to kind of understand what's going on, that layer or two under the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I also like to talk, so it just works out really well.
Yeah.
I was born in Michigan. Don't
at?
remember it. Near Detroit, north of Detroit, Royal
Where?
Oak.
Yeah, I grew up in. I was born in Dearborn.
No way. I was born at Beaumont Hospital in Royal Oak.
Yeah, okay, I was born in Dearborn.
So
It's crazy.
I don't remember.
Oakwood
we left
Hospital.
when I was 4 months old, so
Oh, okay.
I don't remember.
Okay.
Pittsburgh is the home I remember first. We lived there till I was 8. Yeah. That's okay.
Steelers.
I care more for the Pirates and the Penguins than I do the Steelers.
Okay,
I'll
good.
throw that out there.
That's fine.
Pirates
I like the Pirates.
looking for their
Pirates.
third straight
the Pirates.
postseason berth.
The Pirates uniforms in the '80s, best ever.
And the Penguins, too.
I was there.
Mario
The
Lemieux?
The
Yeah.
Penguins won a couple of
Yeah.
Stanley
Yep.
Cups with Lemieux and Yager
Yeah.
when I was little, and Barry Bonds was skinny and fast. It was
Yeah.
great.
Oh my God.
And he had a stash, dude.
Yeah,
a
man.
mean stash back then.
Jim Leland and Andy
Oh,
Van Slyke.
God,
Okay, it was
yeah.
a great team.
That was.
So they lost their third consecutive National League Championship Series. This was the Sid Bream play.
Oh.
And the next summer we moved. So
Okay.
I was without a major league team from then until 2007 when I moved out here. My parents moved to Boise to be near family.
Okay.
Graduated from high school there, Gonzaga University in Spokane. And I got a job at a certain large aerospace manufacturer out here, out of school, and I've been here ever since.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Congratulations. So you went to Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Excellent. So you're a Zag fan.
I am,
Obviously,
I am.
all through and through. Excellent.
That last year was a lot of fun, obviously,
Yeah.
with the
Yep.
second and third round games at the Key. It was great. But,
Yeah. Mark Few has been so fun to watch. I mean,
Yeah.
he just.
is something else.
Yeah.
I'm from Michigan originally,
Right.
and so my parents went to Michigan.
Okay.
So I'm a huge University of Michigan fan, right? Have been my whole life. Still am to this day. I moved out here in '91.
Except for the new football coach, right?
Harbaugh. I love Harbaugh. He's a Michigan boy. As a Michigan guy, I love him.
You
Are
just
you kidding
temporarily
me?
stopped loving him for 5 years?
Nope, I didn't. I loved him.
Yeah.
I loved him here secretly. I loved him
I'm
always.
going to step aside while
At
these
Stanford?
guys
At Stanford?
duke it out.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a great coach.
Shut up, man.
No lie. You didn't know that? You didn't know he was from Michigan originally? You didn't know he was a Michigan quarterback?
Michigan?
You're gonna love this too.
douchebag he was
I
at
didn't
the
mind that.
49ers?
I didn't mind that Tom Brady won because he was also a Michigan boy.
Oh.
You know this. We've had this discussion before. Look, he's gonna cry.
No, man. We're about to rename this podcast.
Bottle it up.
We're about
Bottle
to
it
rename
up.
this podcast. I can't believe you just said that. Wow.
Yeah.
So,
But I loved Mark Few. My point was I loved Mark Few, and it was fun to watch the Zags kind of as that Cinderella team for so
Yeah.
many years.
So that was really
Loved
cool.
it.
That
Except for
first
when
year
they kept
in 90.
beating the Huskies.
Yeah.
but see, I didn't really have
We're
a
going to
Husky
start
life.
beating the Huskies again. Is it next year they start playing
Finally.
again?
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Anyway, married, 2 kids, a 9-month-old boy and a 3-year-old girl. And when I'm not doing flight controls, I'm broadcasting or refereeing.
Great.
Yeah,
So your daytime job is flight controls.
I'm a structural analysis engineer,
Structural
and I work right now on flight control actuation with the large hydraulic cylinders that move the surfaces on the wing and the tail. It's pretty cool. I'm on the 777X program. It's a lot of fun.
Nice.
A lot of
Nice.
stuff
That's
happening
cool,
right
man.
now.
Yeah.
That's
A
cool.
lot of stuff. It's going to be a gorgeous airplane.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't wait. That's very, very cool.
And then once or twice a week, I knock off and come talk to you guys, or go down to Sounders 2 game at Starfire, or in the wintertime, I referee women's basketball in the GNAC.
Okay.
So I'll go to, this is just my second year. Last year I had games at St. Martin's and Simon Fraser, but that league includes Central Washington and Western Washington and some of those Seattle Pacifics. So
Great.
do high school boys and girls ball up in Snohomish County. I used to referee high school football. I dropped that this year just because there's so much going on.
Yeah.
And
Where,
I've had-
where were you refereeing in the high school football league?
in Snohomish County.
Snohomish.
So
okay.
everywhere from the county line up to Stanwood, Darrington.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause a buddy of mine, a good friend of the show, Matt Brown, that does high school football.
I know that name.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a little bit of crossover. I don't think
He
we've
does the
worked together,
chains
but
at the Seahawks too.
Oh,
So,
yeah, okay,
in the
so-
preseason he does.
So we've got some mutual friends at
yeah,
least.
exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
How about Alan? Alan G.
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway. Okay. It's
There's
funny,
like
that
200
world.
football officials in
Oh,
Seattle
really?
high school group.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Okay. So never mind. Okay.
There's a lot of
Never
high schools,
mind.
and they all
Yeah.
play on Friday night.
That's right.
So you
That
got to
makes
have
sense.
a lot of crews.
So I take
Good.
it basketball is probably one of your favorites then, since you decided to keep that one.
You know, it's funny. So I fell in love with basketball knowing very little about it in high school when I needed something to do in the winter. I tried out and got cut. I still needed something to do, so I signed up to be the manager, and then I became the scorekeeper, and then I became the PA announcer. And high school basketball is great. So when I left school, I decided to referee. I'd been doing I did soccer for a couple years while I was in high school, and then I thought basketball would be cool. And if I had to pick I love my Zags, but if I had to pick a sport where I didn't know the teams to go to a game, it would probably not be basketball. Soccer, maybe hockey.
Yeah, hockey's fun
Some
too.
baseball, depending on if it's a ballpark I like.
Yep.
But I, as a spectator sport, when I'm not rooting for Gonzaga, it's not my favorite, but being involved in it is a ton of fun.
Yep.
The rules are interesting, and then officiating that game is a lot of fun. And like I said, I was really honored to be selected to the GNAC women's staff last year. So
That's awesome.
I also went to the Washington State tournament in Spokane for 2A girls, 1A, 2A
Nice.
girls. I'm sorry, 1B, 2B girls. So it's been a lot. It's been a good year for me.
That's cool.
Not to try and toot my
cool,
own horn
man.
too
Yeah,
much.
no, it's
but
awesome, dude.
man.
Between
That's
that and S2 and the whole deal, my son being born in December, it's been great.
That's awesome. Yeah, my heart was ripped out in March.
I'm
but other
sorry,
than that, don't worry
guys.
about it. It's okay.
I'll point out I didn't know you before that.
No, I know. I'm just teasing you.
I just
put
did
in
the
my
same-
video.
No, we did the
It did
same
hurt a
thing
little.
with Gregor and Manley when they came on the show. We had the
Yeah,
same kind of.
I know. I heard you.
Yeah, I was.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah, but it's all good love. It's all for
Yeah.
good fun because it really, for me, it's exciting to watch S2, kind of grow and it's been an interesting year, right? There's such a hype and excitement, and then kind of like that summer of doom and dread that filled the Sounder Nation, so to speak.
It's been a really interesting season.
It has.
As
Yeah.
Sounders fandom in general, the whole "May you live in interesting times" thing.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting year.
Yes.
Totally.
From a Sounders 2 perspective, it's the difference between the beginning of the year and the end of the year is really crazy. So
Absolutely.
they started out in the first 6 or 7 games. I think they scored 3.1 or 3.2 goals a match.
Yeah, right.
I remember, man. I was like, man.
I know.
Yeah.
I had to come up with like new creative ways to like announce the goals because I was like, I
At
can't
this-
do the whole goal,
Yeah.
every single one.
At the same time, they were giving up like 2.8 goals a match. I mean,
Yeah.
the games were high scoring. Lots was going on. In the last 4 games, they've surrendered 1 goal twice and 2 goals twice,
Yeah.
and they've scored 2 goals.
Total.
Yeah. So everything was up. Now everything is down, and the results are flipped the other way. But the look is completely different.
Yeah, it is.
And that's just kind of the deal with I don't know if you want to use the word minor league in soccer, but it functions like a
Developmental team.
farm
Developmental.
team, like
Yeah.
in baseball.
Yep.
And that's just kind of the deal sometimes.
Absolutely.
And they've lost some of their offensive talent either to injury or to the first team or to the international duties. But
Sure.
boy, if you told us at the beginning of the year that we would all have a lot of fun and then there would be a 1 game with everything on the line at the end of the year, I
Take
think
it.
we all would have taken
Yep.
it.
Absolutely, all
Take
day
it
long.
day.
So Thursday, if you guys didn't know, Thursday night at
17.
7:30, Starfire,
Yep.
SoundersFC.com or Sounders2.com for tickets because you got to
Do
be
it.
there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Austin's
Absolutely.
going down.
We'll be there.
Yeah.
You going to be there?
I'll be there.
I'm kind of surprised. I didn't know you were going to be there.
I am 50-50,
You might hear me. You won't see
unfortunately.
me, but you might hear me.
I'm going
I
to try
hear
and
you.
get there, but I'm not sure yet myself.
No, it's going to be a
So,
lot of fun.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I did re-up on my season tickets for S2.
I saw
though.
that.
So
For both.
For both.
Nice.
For both. Yeah, it was
Let's
a tough
go.
choice. Tough choice. No, actually, it was funny because I called him up and I'm like, I'm not really ignoring you. I just haven't had time to do it yet.
Uh-huh.
I know it's a click of a button, but
Yeah.
it turns out because I had sold tickets at one point in the season, I had a credit on my account, so
Okay.
I had to get it applied to
Oh,
my,
okay.
in order to get but so whatever. But
Nice.
I'm official. I'm coming back.
There you go.
I debated long and hard, hours after hours. All right, so what's your favorite thing about doing S2?
Well, I mentioned earlier how neat it is to connect with so many cool people that feel about this team and these teams the way I do.
Yep.
That's been really cool to just have those conversations with, a couple dozen people that I've just chatted with
Yep.
on and off. From the standpoint of actually being up there and doing it.
Yep.
From a personal standpoint, it's really neat to be able to go watch the games back and know that that's me and hear what's going on in the background. Because I've done broadcasting before. Like I said, I worked in the PDL for a couple seasons, but those were like you were lucky to have 80 people at a game.
Yeah.
I do high school. I do some high school sports when I'm not refereeing. I'll fill in there's a couple of internet networks that work together up in Snohomish County to cover games, and I fill in for them when they need a spot or whatever. But I'm not used to. Here I am doing this game, and it sounds like a real game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So the guys at Bootstrapper are marvelous. The production values are awesome.
They're amazing.
The crowds are great, and it's just it feels like I'm involved with something that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's been a real kick.
I
As I'm
agree.
sure you know.
Yeah, totally, completely agree. Couldn't have said it better myself, dude. It feels like you're part of something that's another level. So it's
Now, I'm gonna say, your job is awesome. I've done PA. I've done, like I said, for high school basketball when I was in school, and I've done some regional games around here. Doing the broadcast is fun, but it's a little more disconnected. It's just you and your guy in the booth.
Yep.
When you're the PA and you can hear the whole crowd working with you,
dude.
isn't that the coolest thing?
It is the best.
Is this the
I
first?
can't even describe it. Yeah,
Is this year the first time
it
you've
is
done
the
that?
First year.
Isn't that the best feeling?
It is the best feeling, man. Especially when you start again, the crowd kind of give you feedback back.
Yeah.
And respond back with the "Oh yeah."
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like
my-
that the first week. It has grown on me. Like my parents came to the last match, and I was really sad they didn't score because I wanted them to
me
see
too,
that.
Yeah.
Man. It would have been cool.
When you hear the call and repeat of "Oh yeah,"
That's the
that
best
is
thing.
the best part about it. That
Yeah,
the
dude.
first time I heard that, I got like goosebumps.
I did-
So did
and
I, dude.
giggle
I
because
did
I know
too,
no,
man.
I've heard that "Oh yeah" for like 3 years
Yeah,
now.
pretty much.
So
that's a cool part about it. Like
Yeah.
I say it all the time.
yeah, we all know it.
It's just like
Hell, my
what-
kids say it.
Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, so they're like, "Oh yeah," they're channeling their inner Hugo. Yeah, and this is awesome. Yeah, this is God damn, that thing's light.
I can't
Damn.
describe it, but you're right. Dude. It's
There you go.
There you go. Your own.
Did you see the
tube bowl.
shirts?
dude. I was
Yeah. Well, who bought?
after
Was that?
the game-
Was that?
Somebody made them.
Somebody made them?
It's a season
they,
ticket.
they found them. They didn't make them.
Oh,
So
okay.
They found
They
them.
found them at a store, but they thought they go to S2 games.
Yeah.
They've been going to all season, and they're like, "Oh, we're buying them," and the girls were rocking them.
The
And-
backstory
awesome.
here was two little girls. They were like 6 and 9 or
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that. And I walked past them on my way outside the stadium. And
I
that
loved
was
it.
Awesome.
That was incredible. That was so cool.
I love it. I love
so, I
I
love
was going
it.
to tell you a story. We were talking about PA. This was a district basketball playoff game that I was doing PA for at Mount Lake Terrace before I was good enough referee to be refereeing at that level. So
Okay.
it was in the postseason. I wanted to still be involved, so I was helping out. And there was this, I forget what the kid's name was, but he had a great name. It was like 3 syllables, and it had a good punch to it. It was like, da, 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 that kind of thing, right?
Right.
And every time he would score, I would do his name, and it would get a little bit more. I just got a little more into it. By the time we got into the third quarter of the game, the students were doing it right back with me.
That's awesome.
And that's why, because it's the same thing as people have
Totally.
responded to what you were doing. And I just think that's the best.
It is, dude. It is the best feeling. I cannot even begin to describe it, dude.
Yeah.
It's like just life. Like I didn't even know I had it was a bucket list, but it's totally like something you want to experience. Like, wow.
I can't see you, obviously, when you're doing that, and I'm over in the other booth, but I can hear you smiling.
It totally. Man. I have a good time.
That's the best part about it. You can totally.
dude.
Oh, yeah.
Even when you're home listening to it, you can
Absolutely.
totally tell you're smiling.
Yep.
All right, so Nick, now that you've been on the show here, what was the worst moment so far this year?
Well, just being called Nick by you right now.
Yeah. Okay. But you know why, though, right?
I know why you did that. Are you going to tell the story, or am I going to tell the story?
So why don't you? Because I was online for
Okay.
that though. But go ahead. Let's tell from your perspective.
So, first things first. This was the second time Aaron and I had done a game together.
Yeah.
And we get to halftime, and I was trying a new. So I've been creating a system of how I keep track of my information, and it's been evolving.
Which you
during
tweeted
the
a
year.
picture of last week.
That's part of it. That's
Okay.
half of it.
Okay.
So on the other side of that piece of cardboard I tweeted, right now I have 2 pieces of paper, and I print out these little labels. They're like 2 inches square. I use mail merge on Word,
Okay.
and I do a grid of all the info. So number, age, name, height, weight, all of that stuff, and then like 4 lines of whatever text I want.
Yep.
Statistics, background, whatever. So I've got a sticker for each player that I can basically print or make ahead of time. And then when I get to the stadium and I find out who's in the 18 and who's starting, I can print them out and pick out the right ones and put them in formation on my little sheet of paper. So this was the first time I had tried this. And I knew I had the 7 or 8 minutes we were going to do this video that I had to make sure it was still correct and flip it around for the second half, because I take the sheets of paper and flip them to the other side. So Aaron walks out of the booth, and I'm working on my stuff. He comes back in, and he goes, "Oh, by the way, Garth Lagerwey is going to be on." That's the first I heard about it. So I had about 4 minutes or so from when they told me that Garth Lagerwey was going to be our halftime interview until we actually did it.
Yeah.
So I had no questions lined up for him. I wasn't even certain how to pronounce his name because I'd only ever seen it in text.
Yeah.
So he comes in, I ask
Wow.
him, I'm focused on the last name. I'm saying it to myself, Lagerwey. So we're going to get this right,
Yeah.
right? I wrote it down, Garth Lagerwey, on my sheet, but it was the last name I was looking at. So you guys know where this goes, and
I do.
if you're watching and you don't know where this goes, long story short, he comes in, we put the headset on, we go back, and I say, well, we're really, really happy to welcome Grant Lagerwey here at halftime. Yeah, so it's the Sounders general manager. Here I am trying to earn a job, and I can't get his frickin' name right. So I didn't know it. I called him Grant 3 or 4 times during the interview.
Yeah.
I haven't gone back and watched it. I can't. I just can't do it. The way the show's set up, the only break in the whole broadcast is the 6, 7, 8, 9 minute video they show at halftime. So when we come back before the second half, there's not a stop. We're not off the air until the game's over. So they shut it down. The music fades out. We're all done. We take the headsets off. And Aaron Heinzen, who I'll talk about him later. He's fantastic. He goes, dude, you called Garth Lagerwey Grant.
Social media blew up when it happened,
I saw.
as you saw afterwards.
I frickin' saw. Oh, God, I felt so bad. He'll tell you that the first thing I did was run down next door to Brandon, who's the guy who runs social media and communications for S2.
Yeah.
And I asked if he and Siggy, who were both there, had left, and he said they had.
Yeah.
And I wrote a little note, and I gave it to Brandon, and I said, please give this to him and tell him I'm very sorry.
Yeah.
I felt so bad.
Dude.
I was thinking about what I was going to ask him. I was thinking about his last name. So I'm in my second game as a professional broadcaster. They give you 3 minutes and say you got the GM of the big club on. Yeah.
But so I bring
It's
it
a big
up.
goof.
James just tweeted to me, Aaron, you're a meanie for calling you Nick.
Yeah.
But we talked about it before. You and I talked about it online over the last few months. One of the things that stuck out to me so much about you and told me how good of a person you are or how I like your style is that you owned up to it immediately. You embraced it and took it on and didn't let it become this like thing that could have death spiraled down or whatever you want to call it. And that to me, just as a dad, as a person, as a whatever, I want my kids and my people to say, listen, I did it. Okay. It's kind of funny. I'm going to own up to it, and I'm going to have fun with it. And so I knew you would be okay with me, kind of going on this path. But I respect you for what you did and how you handled it.
I appreciate you saying that. Means a lot from you. And my wife will tell you that if anything, I'm too much that way. I apologize too much rather than not enough. But
yeah, maybe that's why I like it because I did the same.
I still feel so bad that it happened. But kind of the close to the story. This was. I forget when it was. It was sometime in August, late August. Seattle hosted the PDL Championships, and I was asked to come work on that broadcast as a color analyst along with Mark Ockett, who's a local guy. He used to do Mariners pregame on Cairo. He's the PA at the Reign. He does a lot of stuff.
Yep.
So Mark was doing the play-by-play. I was color with him, and we were halftime or between games, I forget which, or maybe it was before the first game, I can't remember. And here's Ziggy and Garth and some of the other Sounders front office walking by right underneath the booth at Starfire. And I said, hang on, made him mute my mic so I could stick my head out the window. And I said, Mr. Lagerwey, note I didn't use his first name. I said, Mr. Lagerwey, I'm the guy who used your name wrong on the air, and I just wanted to say I'm really sorry. And he laughed and shook my hand, and he said, I just want you to know, I didn't even know till somebody told me. So he was nice about it. I still feel terrible,
so cool.
But if that's the worst that happens in my first year as a professional, I think it's going to be
That's
okay.
damn good. All right, so let's talk about your partner Aaron a little bit, and then we'll move on, I think, from S2 and go into the rest of the world.
Great. So Aaron Heinzen is, first of all, he's exceptionally good at what he does.
Yeah.
There was a lot of positive attention on Twitter the first game that we did against Sacramento, and most of that was aimed at Aaron, at how good quality the color was. And so it's worth pointing out he's done it before. He was an analyst for the Timbers USL organization, but Timbers USL had an FSN contract. This was back before the Sounders came into the league, and then the first year, because the contract was still running, that was the team that FSN was showing in the Northwest was Timbers USL.
Yep.
So Aaron worked with that organization for maybe 3 or 4 years after he had played for them. But he also played for Sounders in the forerunner of the PDL, the Sounders Select.
Yep.
He played at University of Washington, and now he lives up here and he coaches. I don't want to say which one because I'm not certain I have the right one, but he coaches with one of the big youth clubs.
Cool.
And now he's my partner. And of the 6 people that got selected, he is by far the highest quality.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I think all 6 of you have special uniqueness about it. You know, I don't want to put you on the spot in any way. I asked you about what I can't talk about, and you said talk about anything. I mean, I have my own personal preferences. I think you guys are probably the most traditional.
That's exactly where I was going to go. I'm a straight man.
Yeah.
In sports, I know. I was talking about this with my mom, actually, after she was at this game the other day. What I do well as a broadcaster or a PA announcer or whatever else with my voice, I hear what it's supposed to sound like, and I'm really good at making it sound like that.
Yeah, right.
So I can listen to a guy like JP Dellacamera, and I'm not saying I'm as good as he is, but I can listen to what he does, and I can pick up pieces of that and work it into my work, and it sounds like it belongs there.
Yep.
What I can't do is I can't do what Gregor and Manley do, which is make an experiment out of it and try and have some fun in a different way. I'm frankly not enough fun to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not loose enough to do stuff like that. Drew Wallen, who's a fantastic young guy, who's not around so much in the fall because he plays football out at Central. But he was the play-by-play guy on the other team, and so the most direct comparison that I have is to him. And the thing that he does so well that I haven't quite captured yet, he goes way over the top when the Sounders score, and it's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I haven't got there.
Yeah.
It's a different style.
It
I'm
is
a little more muted,
And that's okay.
and it's just a little different. So we'll see where the club wants to go. Everyone
Yeah.
did a great job this summer, and
Yeah. So like I'm, and that's where so they were good. They're young, and they have a lot of room for development and for improvement, which is great.
they have a lot of raw tools.
Yes, they
That's
do.
what I would say.
Absolutely. That's a great way to put
And
it.
that's not an insult.
No, God, no.
That's
no,
not an
and
insult,
not
guys.
at all.
No.
I got 10 years on the both of you, so.
Yeah, but and and you guys were, like I said, the most traditional. What do you think of when you think about it?
It
And I like it.
sounds like it. I mean, it sounds like an American MLS broadcast.
Exactly.
Maybe hopefully better in some cases.
Well,
but
better than San Jose's and Portland's for sure. But
it sounds pretty bread and butter, and
yeah,
that
it
was
does.
the idea.
Yeah.
That's what I do best.
Exactly.
So.
But I'm a huge fan of Gregor and Manley style because I'm kind of a smart aleck, and I kind of like that experimental
smart
thing.
aleck,
I
really?
know. Believe it or not, it's hard to believe. But I love that. I know they rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and we talked about it a little bit with them on the air when we had them on.
Sure.
And I know that they've gotten bombarded because I see it in my feed. People are like, "Oh, I hate the way they're doing it." I like that.
No, it
They're
was cool,
having
man.
fun, doing something different. So it's stylistic.
And
depends
this
on
is
what you
just
like.
me, and this won't surprise you given what my style is. It's not my thing.
No,
And
exactly.
that's not a
right.
knock on what they
No.
do, because they do it very, very well.
Exactly.
It's the sort of thing, I don't know if they've ever done this specifically where they try and do more like a relaxed chat.
Yeah.
But there's some of the networks have done this for football, like American football games,
Yes, they
where
have.
they'll have, like ESPN will, for the national championship game in college, they've done this. Well, they'll run the traditional feed on ESPN and guys sitting in the chalk room with the whiteboards on another feed. And that would be if the Sounders ever wanted to branch out on the. I'm talking about Sounders 1 here.
Yeah.
If they ever wanted to branch out on a digital channel or something over the web, I think that would be awesome.
Yep, absolutely.
So they do it very well. It's just not my thing on the primary broadcast.
Yep. And I love the whole idea of like the Mystery Science Theater 3000 kind of S style.
That's
for lack
where
of a
they
better
were
way to
going
go.
with it.
And
That's
I
for
love
sure.
that. And that's we had talked about in ours. We kind of went somewhat straight laced in there, but we still threw our own flair in there.
You
And,
guys were interesting when we. I didn't know you guys. I hadn't watched your show until I got to know you guys over Twitter. But when they put your video up, obviously we were my friends and I were thinking about how that affected my chances and stuff. And it was very interesting because you were kind of trying to fit into that mold more than he was.
Yep.
And it's something I hadn't seen before.
Yep.
It was a very much. I called it vaudevillian at the time.
Yeah, that's right.
It was
Absolutely.
It was kind of like the straight man and the clown.
Absolutely.
And it was something I'd never seen before. This year or some other year I would have enjoyed seeing that. And
Me too. I would have enjoyed it too.
Yeah, I would have.
You've got a great job, buddy.
Yeah, he
fun,
did.
though.
I know.
I can't complain.
Yeah. It's funny how he got a great job out of it. That's all right.
Sorry, Aaron.
That's all right. No,
Sorry.
it's okay. With
Jobs
my schedule,
for
it would've been
everybody.
rough. We have a question here from James asking, have they made a choice yet for the 16 season yet?
If they have, they haven't told us.
Okay.
And I don't know what their plan is. I haven't asked Brandon about it because honestly I'm afraid to.
Yeah. I don't think they'll make a decision personally until the offseason.
I'm sure they're going to wait until the year's over. They've
Yeah.
got enough to think about right now.
Honestly, yeah.
I don't know what they're going for. I mean, you can
Yeah.
make an argument for any of the three of us. You can, if they want to be a little experimental.
Yeah.
Gregor and Manley are great. If they want the young guys and they want to try and mold people with all this raw talent
Yeah.
and try and mold them the way they want, Drew and Peyton are a great option. Aaron and I provide something that's reliable and at least American television quality, but doesn't probably change a lot over the time. So a lot of options and.
Yeah, but I would be surprised if they made a decision before the first.
And I don't
year.
even know what their intentions are or process. They up front they had said something about social media involvement. I don't know what their intention is. So I got one more match and then a long shot if the playoff. We were talking about this pre-show. There's a chance S2 could get a home game.
Right.
Only if they get the 5 seed and then us and the 6 seed both get into the conference final. But I got the game on Thursday. I'm prepping for that.
Me too.
We'll go from there.
That's all you have to do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, focus on and you know this.
And once that ends, I'm getting into my basketball mechanics book. Women's basketball, some big changes this year. They're going to the 4 quarters.
Oh,
NBA
nice.
style. They're adding the ball advancement at the end of the 4th period like the NBA has.
Oh, nice.
You can put the ball in the
Ahead
front
midcourt.
court with a timeout.
Wow.
At the 28-foot, it's not front court. See, that's the kind of rules nerdery you get with me.
Hey, but
I just
still,
correct you without even thinking
That's
about
all
it.
right. It's something you
Anyway,
know what
so
you're talking about.
we've got our preseason meeting in early October, and I've got a lot of learning to do between now and then. So whenever they make a decision, I probably won't even be thinking about it. Yeah.
But bottom line is, you did a great job.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
You've done a great job.
I've had, whether it continues or not, I have had the greatest time. It's been so much fun. And I've got, whether or not, if they don't want me back now, I've got 6 high-quality reels that I can send to people, and like with actual production values and stuff. As much as I absolutely love working with the guys up in Snohomish County, it's just a guy with a camera and me to sit next to him. So it's been fun.
Okay, so let's move on. Should we talk injuries?
Oi.
Yeah.
Should we say that this,
Ouch.
I almost cried Saturday night.
Dude, it was serious. Like,
Roman Torres is my favorite
it was
player.
serious.
He is.
Favorite player of the Sounders.
He has had
He's almost eclipsed Oba.
He's had an impact on the Sounders fan base that I would not have believed. And it started even before he was playing here. And Dave, I can't remember if it was you or Jeremiah, Dave, but one of you wrote about this in that whole transfer thing. And there was a line that stuck out to me, and it was something like 4 days ago, nobody had even heard of this guy. And now if we don't get him, everything is over.
Oh, shoot.
Like,
Yep.
he has caught, how's this? He's caught the imagination of Seattle fans
Yes.
in a way that not even Clint Dempsey did, because we kind of already knew what he was.
Yeah.
He was
exactly.
awesome and we
Right.
wanted him. But this was such an unknown, and people just...
See, I loved
I
him.
knew who he was.
I knew he was too, because he scored against Mexico when they cheated.
No, when the refs
Cheated.
made a
Yeah, Mark
challenging
Geiger.
call, and
A
Mexico
pro
never won the
referee, terrible referee.
cup. Hey,
The ref of the
Mexico
year.
needed to make the penalties.
Yeah, they
and
cheat.
did.
How much did they give him? How
And
many
they
bags
won.
of
And
cash?
it's set to beat Jamaica convincingly, which they did.
They did actually.
So-
They did. They won that game. They won one game.
Yeah.
The others were handed to them.
Hey,
Along with
nothing's handed
Ca-
to nobody.
Yes, they are.
still have to score those penalties.
So
Yeah, that dude won't miss a penalty ever.
I want to make this...
never know.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to go
no,
outside.
no. I want to put a statement that you can file away for when we talk about officiating
Yeah.
later. And the question is, I want you to think about, is there another sport that has referees' decisions with such high leverage? Stop and think about that, and we'll
Such
go back
high
to
leverage.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So my mic was off a minute ago. I turned it off, but I was saying how much I love Roman Torres. Is all I was saying.
yeah.
He became, and so just to finish off that.
Yeah.
But compare, like Oba is my favorite player, right? When Oba flew here, when we signed him and was here for the one day, and then flew out to play for Nigeria, I just loved Oba from day one. Roman, watching him in the Gold Cup and having him score against that team.
Hey.
So I knew who he
Seven
was,
Gold Cups, baby.
but
Seven
only to this
Gold
much.
Cups.
Right.
7 Gold Cups.
And he just so watching him, and we talked about this before the show. I was standing in that corner right over there on Saturday night watching
Dude,
the game.
He ran over.
I was like,
no!
I tweeted N with 139 zeros.
Yes, you did.
I was so devastated. I mean, I just watching him. He's like a gazelle on the field. I don't know how else to say. If you watch him run, it's effortless. It's
I
like
don't
a
know.
weird,
That's probably the first time anybody's ever described him as
maybe.
Excel.
I'm just saying something about the way I am.
Yeah, dude.
Oba thighs, Roman
You don't know
thighs.
about
Hello.
Oba thighs?
So here's how I would describe him. Have you ever
Yeah.
seen a defender that
A
exudes
bowl in a
energy
China
the
shop
way
is a
he
better
does?
description,
No.
sir.
I'm
A
sorry.
bowl
Ask
in
your
a
question
China
again.
shop.
Have you ever seen a defender that exudes energy the way Roman does?
No.
That's what I
That's
love
what I'm
about
saying. It's
Yeah.
like
him. He plays the only other player that moves with that same sense of he could just launch into orbit right now is
Yes.
Boba.
Yes.
Correct.
He moves
Correct.
Not
That's
a
great
bull
way
in
to put
China
it.
shop.
He moves with strength and speed.
Yes.
And he makes it look like he's not trying yet.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know. I don't know why I'm saying but
Professional
I know.
broadcaster.
Maybe not a gazelle. Maybe not a gazelle. But whatever. But you know what I'm trying to say. You knew what I was trying
I'm
to
with
say.
you. And it's devastating to
I
lose a guy
love
like
watching
that.
him play.
Oh, dude.
One thing that we
Right.
don't know, we don't know if
We don't know.
from a team standpoint, so how much impact we feel like a guy has isn't necessarily the same as how much impact the front office thinks he has, or the coaching staff thinks he has, or the players that he plays with thinks he has. The thing is, though, if you look at his reaction, the reactions of his teammates today,
Yes.
yeah, that tells the story, and they know what an impact he has.
Nelson tweeted it out. Tomas tweeted it out. Amir's tweeted it or Instagrammed it out. I mean, there was nonstop. There's
There was
love
a
there.
lot.
There's a lot of love there.
Yeah.
And we talked about it before the show, but we knew when he was beating that ground, he wasn't beating the ground out of anything other than he knew his body and he knew he was done. He knew his season was over at that point.
Yeah. Oh, and if I've been lucky enough not to suffer a knee injury of that type, but I've had it with an ankle, and you can feel it
Yeah.
when you know you're not going to be moving with any kind of pace
For a
the
while.
next 3 or 4 months.
Yeah. I just hope tomorrow we find out it's a 3 or 4 month injury,
And
not a year.
not a year.
We might get him back
Yeah.
this time next year,
Yeah.
and that's possible with the knee stuff.
It is.
We were talking about this in the Open, or before the Open, how it's kind of an unusual injury in this sport.
Yep.
It's an injury you see a lot in basketball when
Yeah.
guys are coming down from rebounds.
Yep.
But for whatever reason, and maybe it's the hard surface
too.
or whatever it is,
Yep.
you don't see it as much in soccer.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you could see on the replay it hyperextended by
Oh, yeah.
a significant amount.
Yeah, it looked painful.
It looked
It looked
awful.
bad.
I've done that in basketball, but not that severely, and it hurts, man.
Yeah.
It hurts.
It's going to be a long road for Ramon Torres, but
Yeah. But he's strong. He's a good player. He's going to come back better than
Yeah.
ever.
Injuries have been, and I'm a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. I know what it's like to have injuries completely change the narrative for a team. And I haven't run the numbers. I don't know if MLS tracks man games lost the same way NFL and NHL do, but the Sounders have lost, if not a total quantity of man games, the people that they have lost to injuries this year has just been brutal.
So Frank M. Sounders tweeted before the game that 29 players have been used in MLS.
That's remarkable.
Versus in like 30 whatever games versus 22 or
33.
21, whatever it was.
33.
Yeah, on average.
That's absolutely remarkable.
29 in 33 games. Yeah, versus 22, wasn't it? I think, or 21 in all competitions. Yeah. So it's like
for who?
for Sounders, the old day, like in the old Sounders.
Gotcha.
So but that kind of level, that's a lot of talent, a lot of people
Yeah.
to bring into the mix.
And it's not just numbers either. It's
No.
who was gone.
Yeah, exactly.
The quality of people who were gone.
Right.
And
Yeah,
this is
talking
this-
about all our DPs for like a month.
Yeah, and this has affected Sounders too as well. We haven't seen Andy Craven in a long time. What's it been, 7 weeks?
Ever since.
I saw him.
like
I
that.
saw him
5
Saturday.
times.
I saw him Saturday night. He's looking better.
Yeah.
He's looking real good. He was looking good. He said he's feeling good. He's coming along.
He seems chipper on Twitter again.
Yeah.
And that's a good sign.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that we're analyzing you guys on Twitter.
Well,
that much,
no,
but
not at all. Of
You
course
just get
not.
a sense that
Who does that?
You just get a sense that the guy's fortunes may be turning back. And,
Yeah.
and we sure hope
But
to
what
see
a
great
guy!
things out of him next
What a
year.
guy who, man, talk about just the bad timing.
Yeah.
God.
Because holy crap, he had the world
had
was
it in
his.
front of him.
He did, but in a way, I'm almost kind of glad. And not that I'm glad he got hurt. So don't take this the wrong way. Just let me finish before I.
No, I think I know where you're going.
The team was in such a disarray that I don't know that he would have had
Enough of an
a
impact.
great of an impact. Yeah, right. Because the rest of the team was such a disarray.
There's a
be
non-zero
successful.
chance and a pretty good chance that it would have been a very negative 4 or 6
Exactly.
weeks for him.
Yes.
And that would have harmed his future prospects for the first
Yes.
time. And I'm not saying that's necessarily true. And,
No.
and maybe, you don't know the other
It's a
story.
lot of what ifs.
Right.
Right.
You don't know the
Yeah.
other story. But there's at least something to be said for let's allow his development to continue on a more natural curve.
Exactly.
Get him a bunch of minutes in the preseason next year. Get him a bunch of minutes for us too if the roster spot's not there right away, and let the development curve continue because he is full of potential.
Exactly. And Juan Valdez in the chat room says, or he might have gotten a goal or two and been a hero. Absolutely.
That's absolutely
and that's
true.
true.
Never know.
I'm just saying, we're not professionals here. We have a good time. We're kind of the well, we're in a bar, a couple guys in the bar talking
Right.
like fans.
Yeah.
This was the thoughts that went through my head, that it could have been good, it could have been bad, but I'm trying to look at the optimistic side.
There is a
for him.
possible positive. That's
Exactly. Yep.
But there's just been so much time lost by so many important pieces, and honestly, the fact that they're sitting where they are
Yep.
is, well, more than anything else, it's a testament to what a strong opening third of the year they had.
no
Yeah.
kidding.
And we're awfully glad they did, because
It would
3
be
points,
one of the
3 points makes all the difference right now.
You just think about 9 losses. What was that? What was it? 2 9-1 or 1 9-1 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's like if you think about 1 or 2 of those is a draw. You think about whatever. I mean, what
That
ifs, I know,
stretch
but-
was so funny, because for the
God, it was
first half of
terrible.
it, we were still in first place.
Right.
We were still in first place for like a month without.
Yeah, and we kept saying,
We're gonna find it. We found it. We beat DC, and that goal was the one that was gonna break it all, right?
Yeah.
It was gonna break it all. Everything was
the
gonna
Mears
change.
goal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it never did. We were still in first place, and then
My dad was there.
I was in Vancouver watching on my computer, but
Was it? Yeah.
I was up for the Women's World Cup final.
Oh,
It was
nice.
that weekend.
Yeah.
That's right.
That was
that's right.
cool. We'll talk about that later. But the banking up points in those first 10,
that's
12,
really sick.
14
Yep.
games has put us in a position now where we're not going to get a bye. We're not going to catch the first
Right.
two. But we're in a position where we might have that play-in game at home.
It's possible, yeah. It's very possible.
It's not impossible,
Yeah.
and we only need a little bit of help to
That's
get
it.
there.
Yep.
So we don't quite control our destiny for the 4 seed, but we don't need nearly as much help as I would have thought 3 weeks ago.
That's right.
Correct.
That's right.
Agree.
So
We don't have to pull the Jim Mora card out basically
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
So
yeah, pretty much.
we're we have a lot of work to do.
There's a lot to play for, but
Thanks to Oba.
yeah, what a goal!
What
Okay.
a goal.
What a goal!
Can we talk about one thing before we talk about the goal?
Yeah.
We were missing one key piece. We had a great lineup. We had an amazing
Oh, I
lineup.
know where you're going.
Not about Pineda. It's not about Pineda.
I know where you're going, though.
But Alonso, if you throw Alonso
yeah.
in there, and
that's not where I
it
thought you were
changes.
going.
No, and again, it's not a Pineda comment, because I know
No.
we have this joke about Pineda. He loves him because he's a Mexican national.
Right.
I think he steals gold cups, but whatever. No, I had to get that in there.
Still got 7 of
Joe
them.
says 0. So
7 gold cups there.
You guys like each other?
we do. We really do. Believe it or not. Not really. We pretend to. But if we do, we cuddle off camera.
I could attest to this. I saw
yeah.
it.
You haven't been to our road trips. How do you know?
But Alonso, you throw Alonso in that game, and I think it's a different result. You watch Alonso in the match, of course, when he got the worst referee call ever. Not really, but ever. But it was a terrible referee call. But
Which
Alonso,
one? Out of
Alonso
the
back,
dive.
the supposed dive.
Oh, my God.
You get Alonso back, and I'm not worried, because I was sitting at the end of the game. I'm going, San Jose has our number. There are our St. Louis Rams
Yeah.
against the Seahawks.
Yep.
There's that. But
Everyone's got one.
then I realized after the game, I'm like, we didn't have Alonso. Alonso's playing at a healthy level that he hasn't played with the first half of the year.
Yep.
I feel much more confident
It's
and
not
relaxed
just that,
about
too.
it.
That game specifically, think about what an impact his style would have made
Oh, my God,
the
yeah.
way that game was going.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because what we were struggling with was exactly that segment of the game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Exactly.
He's a huge piece.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I said to Aaron Heinzen when the 18 was mailed to us late Friday afternoon, when we got there, I was almost expecting to see him come and play half an hour on Friday night.
Oh, just to
because-
keep him in shape.
Because he's played one game in how
Yeah.
long?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
He's got one game. So
Yeah, totally.
Aaron disagreed with me. He thought the injury risk was way too much, and he's probably right.
Yeah.
But
If
it's
it was
gonna
maybe if it was May,
it's going to
April.
be
Right.
a huge component of what happens from here during the last few weeks of the year if he plays to midseason form.
Yeah.
Because he's been out for so long. Is it one game or 2 games in the last few months? But it's not
Just
much.
one.
Just the one.
Yeah.
That
That's
was
it.
his first one
That was
back.
first. Yeah.
So
What do you guys think about Ivan, how he played?
I liked it.
I like what I saw.
I did.
I liked what I saw.
You know, he was. There was a couple balls, a couple missed
Yeah.
cues, maybe if you want to call it that. But on the ball, when he was on the ball and his from a dead ball spot, oh my God, there's nobody better
So
right
here's the last time we brought in a German-speaking set piece specialist, quote unquote.
now. I loved him.
It didn't work.
I know, but I loved him.
Yeah, he seems really cool, but it didn't work. So I'm wondering if this is going to be the same thing.
No.
It's not the same thing.
No,
it's
he's
not
different.
the same thing.
He's a different quality. He's a way different
he is,
quality.
yeah.
He's a first league versus a second league guy.
He's a
realistically,
European. First choice set piece guy.
Exactly. Yes.
And
All day
it's going to
long.
make a difference on a team that really hasn't had that this
Exactly.
year.
Yep.
So
Oh man, I'm just hoping
No,
that.
he's going to be good.
No,
Yep.
I agree. I think I liked what I saw. I just hope that we get everybody back and just when we play at our best, it's tough for any team to beat us. And I just
It
want
is.
to see us play our best. That's
Yep.
all.
Yep.
would you
That's
be
all.
surprised to see us go into Vancouver and win a game?
No, we're
No.
gonna. No, not at all.
Neither would they. And that's
No.
the thing. You look
Yep.
at right now, you look at who's leading.
Yeah.
You look at how we match up against those teams. It's not like I think we're going to go in and stomp Vancouver because they're
No.
a great side.
They are.
But you don't – if you looked at the standings and didn't know the backstory
Yep.
and you looked at the results and didn't know the backstory, you wouldn't feel as confident as I feel right now.
Absolutely.
We
Correct.
can walk in anywhere in the Western Conference and win today.
So
Oh,
we have
anytime.
Vancouver, and then Kansas City. So if you want to take the middle Vancouver out,
Well,
that's the CCL game.
Right.
But the Vancouver and Kansas City MLS games, they're two away games in a row. They're very winnable games. Very winnable games.
I think
And the Cascadia Cup, yeah.
I think you can hope for 3 points total. You can hope for 6 points total. I think it's not unrealistic.
I
to
want
think
4
that
or
3
6.
is-
I think 4 or 6
four
is
is
realistic.
that would be awesome.
Yeah, 4 would be amazing.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not even thinking about those games necessarily, but look at Dallas, look at Vancouver. You look at who's up at the top of the table. I mean, LA scares the crap out of me. I'm not going to lie.
Yep.
Out of everybody,
they
man.
are built to beat us.
Gio's amazing.
Roman
they're
in
built to
there,
beat
I was
anybody,
okay with
but-
LA, but Roman
Yeah.
out.
LA scares me.
Yeah.
But
Dos Santos is
I
just
think we
missing piece.
we can beat. And I don't just mean on a good day kind of thing. On any given day, I like our chances against any team in the
I
West
agree.
except Los Angeles.
That's what I said. Like,
Yeah.
if we bring our best, we have a legitimate chance, even against LA. I think if we play our best game, I mean, it's not going to be easy, but we can beat them.
Oh, we
won't beat
can.
it. Yeah.
We can beat LA. I
Yeah.
just wouldn't bet on it.
Here's
Right
an
now.
interesting
Right now.
question. I think it might be somewhat not valid anymore because of the Roman injury.
Right.
But Armor Crash Jeremy, which, hey, Jeremy, we haven't seen you here forever.
Dude, love you, bro. Miss you, man.
I'll buy you a beer next time you come down.
Yeah.
People say the
Gotta
only
get
way.
a rematch on Jenga, by the way.
People say the only way the lineup could be better is if Alonso and Evenshitz were in it. So Alonso instead of Pineda in the lineup that we had.
Well,
compared
no,
to-
no,
compared to
won't
San
come
Jose.
the 80th minute anymore.
I know,
I'm okay
exactly,
with that.
right.
I already know. Pineda's an 18. I realize that.
But if you have Roman, which we don't now, do you take out Evans or Freeberg? Roman,
That's a
whatever.
good question, and as much as I hate to say it, I think it is Brad Evans.
Yeah.
I think that's what I
love
said.
you. You're
that's,
gonna.
That's what I said too. I agree.
You're not going to find a guy who's a bigger fan of Brad Evans than I am. I am enamored of what he's done.
Other than Lee.
I
Lee's
can-
a pretty
yeah,
big.
yeah.
Lee's
Okay.
a super
No,
big
not really.
fan.
He hates.
Brad Evans is marvelous, and I respect him, and he and Zach Scott are the faces of the franchise to
Yep.
me. But you got to be practical. This is a practical business.
Yep.
And Freeberg is the better option in the midfield right now. As you say, it's moot.
Yeah.
Because he's going to slot right back into that center back, which he likes better anyway.
Right.
I know he was kind of annoyed when
Yeah.
he got asked to move again, and I can't blame
Yeah.
him. It's
No.
hard to.
Yeah.
It's hard to shift around. I think people underestimate how difficult it is to change positions in this game.
Yep.
Dude, I think every one of us has been asked at our jobs, hey, I need you to do this
Yep.
else on top
It
of what
sucks.
else you do. It does suck,
Yeah.
man. It's totally understand, totally
Yep.
But
understand
somebody
why you
like a
felt
Brad
that way.
Evans and somebody like what we want to be, you do it and you do well at it and you're the best you can with the skills you have
Yep.
until you get somebody maybe that's more qualified and or the right person for that job, and then you move back to where you were at.
Nice.
And
So
If you had told me in end of March, say, that we would have signed a center back, he would have gotten hurt, and we would have all been feeling not too terrible about Brad Evans going back to center back, I would have laughed in your face.
Yeah.
Because the start of that was just scary.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah, it
boy,
was.
did he settle into it being
He did.
good.
He was
Oh, man.
solid.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
I wasn't too worried.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go back to the Oba goal before we move on
Wow,
and
that
talk
was-
ref, because we are at, believe it or not, we're almost at 8:30, so we're almost an hour in.
Wow.
But so Oba goal.
Sexy.
Oh, my God.
I mean,
He's going to win the goal of the week again.
Did he literally beat the defender into it? Because I know the defender swung at it,
Oh, the defender was wrong-sided.
Was he wrong-sided? Did he
Yeah,
miss it?
he was. So he was. There's a shot from the corner on the right side. If you're looking at the goal, that kind of shows this. The defender had kind of rolled around, so he was toward the far post relative to Oba.
Okay.
So he wasn't going to get there first. But what a touch!
Oh, man.
So yeah,
He makes it look so easy, but that is just an incredible goal. Incredible goal.
It's insane.
And what is it, 5 goals in 5 games since
Yeah,
he's been back?
5 and 5.
Not too shabby.
Should have been
Senor
6
Oba.
penalty.
Yeah. God.
Don't ever let Oba take a penalty ever
Never,
again.
ever.
Never, ever.
Okay. Question.
Brad Evans' penalty was fantastic.
If we had
Pineda's too.
if we had taken him out, who takes the penalties?
Brad?
If in the scenario we were just talking about where Ramon's still healthy and we take him out for free and leave Freeberg with even
Pineda.
chance.
Oh no, Pineda's not playing either.
Right. Who takes him?
Dempsey.
Probably.
Yeah, probably Dempsey.
Probably.
Yep.
Yeah. Dempsey.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that.
But what? He's just a special player.
He is.
Oba is a guy who does things that you don't expect, and they're awesome.
All right, tough question here. If you can only, who would you pick first, Oba or Dempsey?
Oba.
Oba
All
day
day.
long. All day long. Every day.
All day.
Really?
All
Wow, that
day.
was fast.
No
I've
question in my
thought
mind.
about this before. So one thing you guys got to know.
Oba or Dempsey?
Oba or Dempsey? Who would you pick first?
How
If
about you
had
guys in the
first
audience?
Pick.
Oba. Only
Only
one.
one.
Pick one first. That's it. Oh, Oba.
Clear cut, unanimous.
Oba?
I did not see
Oba?
that coming.
Or
The whole
Dempsey.
the whole
It's-
table's
it's
nodding.
It's like only have one. You can have one. You get pick. Yeah.
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 The whole
Yeah,
table.
Oba.
Wow.
I'm assuming in the audience it's gonna be the same result, but
Listen,
he's that much.
I
He's that-
respect Clint Dempsey.
Me too. Oh, God,
He's an outstanding player, and he's done marvelous things for U.S. soccer.
oh god, yeah.
He doesn't create things in the same way that Oba does. The ball falls to Oba's feet in the middle of 4 people, and all of a sudden he's over there and the ball's in the net.
Exactly.
Clint Dempsey is a marvelous technical player,
Yep.
and he's very skilled, and he's a great goal scorer, and I want him in my 11.
Yeah, I was.
But
Sorry. go
Oba
ahead.
just makes shit happen.
It is, dude. I was telling my dad. So we were watching. What the hell were we watching? I was watching with my dad. Mexico versus Argentina, and I was like, Dad.
Hey, what was the final score in that game?
Don't worry about that. What was the final score about Brazil and U.S.? What was
We
the final
lost
score?
4-1.
All right, we tied 2-2.
I know you did.
So-
but you were up 2-0 to begin with.
It's okay. No.
No, ours didn't either. Yeah. I'm just picking at him. Go
Hey,
ahead.
but I told Dad, I was like, Dad, I wish Oba was Mexican. I wish he could play for the Mexican national
yeah.
team.
I'm pretty sure that
God.
transfers don't work that way.
I know, but
Wait, you don't like Chicharito?
no, I love Chicharito. But if I could give Oba Mexican citizenship, let me know. I have a contact at the consulate, Oba.
So, Dave,
I think he's
was there
baptized.
a comment you wanted to make there? Here. Off camera, but go ahead. Dave.
It's interesting that you can only have one thing, is like Dave Softy Mahler on KJR does
Yep.
that all the time.
Yep.
And all of us who are diehard soccer fans, everybody here, there's like 8 of us here tonight, said Obafemi Martins.
Yeah.
But if you did that on KJR
It
with
would be
Softy
Dempsey
hosting
all
it,
day.
It'd be Clint
it'd
Dempsey.
be Clint Dempsey.
Yep.
And it's not because they're idiots or morons.
No.
It's because marketing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And Clint Dempsey has been on the cover of FIFA.
Yep.
Obafemi Martins will never be on the cover of FIFA.
That's right. I agree.
Clint Dempsey can sell
Absolutely.
Oh Boy Oberto jerky.
Yep.
Obafemi Martins can't.
No.
And so when you're looking to eventually sell 67,000 seats as if that's the standard, Clint Dempsey's your one.
That's right.
That's
If
true.
you're looking at winning
Right.
an MLS Cup, Oba is barely that one.
And this is why Dave should have his own podcast. Because he
That
just
was a
drops
special
knowledge.
shout out
like
from
that.
Dave.
At
From
Sounder at Heart.
From Sounder at Heart.
At Better Than.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
So that was awesome. But that's true. He's absolutely right.
That's a
Yeah.
great point, Dave. And who's making that decision matters.
Yeah.
So the way they've split out the organization now, where they've got Mr. Lagerway dealing with the soccer side. See what I'm doing there?
Mr. Lagerway.
Yeah, I know. You beat me to it. You saw
No,
you saw me
no.
getting ready to cue that up. But yeah, go ahead.
So with Garth Lagerway dealing with the soccer side more, and they
Wait,
split it out a
isn't
little
that
bit
Grant?
more from the business.
Yeah.
Maybe that decision gets made differently, and
Yeah.
how the organization is structured. I mean,
Yeah.
that stuff matters. I told you I'm a guy who has to figure out how stuff works.
That's right.
That stuff matters.
It does. I 100% agree.
Yeah.
100% agree. Okay.
Totally.
We going to referees?
We before we do that,
Okay.
we're making the playoffs.
Which team?
Sounders won. Both. Actually, both. Sorry, both. But I was specifically asking about Sounders won.
I think
but
Sounders 1 is more likely at this point. I know we only need a draw. Sounders 2 on Thursday.
You think it's gonna be a rough
They've lost
game?
5 of 6, and they did not look very good
No, they
for
did not.
75 minutes
Yeah.
out of that
Well,
match.
I didn't see. I saw the Periscope.
There's a
but
lot
not
of work
the,
to be
match.
done.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they can't do it. I think it's better than a 50-50 that they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say 3 out of 4 S1 makes the playoffs this year.
3 out of 4 S1. How about S2 then?
75%?
You did 50-50?
55-60.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right.
I would
Okay.
not disagree with you.
Yep. All right. So let's talk about refs.
All right.
So the Alonso call, first of all. Let's cue that
You're
up.
gonna start. Oh, okay.
So
The dive.
So
I've been waiting for this because I knew you were on the show, and when I saw that call, I couldn't wait for this.
So I'm going to start out and say, and you're not going to like that I say this, I know what he saw. That doesn't mean he was right. He was dead wrong. It's an incorrect call. When you look.
All right,
when
so
you look
we're
at
all done with the
why-
show. Good night. Yeah, no.
Great to have you on the show.
Well, hear me out. I'm not talking about was it correct or not. It was
Yeah, no,
incorrect.
yeah.
It's an incorrect call.
Yeah.
When I'm breaking down film, and we do that as officials, we break down our own film.
Yep.
And you better believe he knew he had gotten that wrong within 5 minutes of him being back in the locker room.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's an observer at the games
Yep.
who's looking at the game, who's getting, I don't know if he's looking at the film on his phone or if he's getting fed information, but he goes into the locker room immediately post-game, and they're looking at clips right away.
Yep.
And that's true in professional sports across the board. So you look at why it happened. And I can see what Aussie was trying to do was slow down.
Yeah, avoid injury.
Aussie was trying to slow down and avoid the contact, and
That's right.
he stuck his shoe in a way that looks a little bit similar to the way that guys stick their shoe in to take a dive.
Absolutely, 100% agreed.
Here's the problem with that call, and I'm going to be careful about this because referees. I'm not technically a referee for soccer right now. You're not supposed to criticize each other in public, and you're not going to see that a lot.
Yep.
The reason that's a call that I would hesitate to make if it were my game is that who dives in the middle of the field? He's not trying to win a penalty. He wants to get through to the ball. So it's a reaction call that he probably knew right away he didn't. And all officials, this happens to all officials. We react to something and we go, shit, I didn't need that. In basketball, that happens to us most when there's a play that it looks like it's going to be contact and then the defender makes the right play.
So hold on. So you're saying that all officials at one point or another have made the initial call and then
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
bad call,
You see it
but
in
they
their
stick
faces.
with it.
Oh, yeah.
They
You-
stick
you-
with it
you-
because they already made the call.
It depends what sport you're in.
Okay.
It's really tough in soccer to change your mind without getting help. And
Correct,
he was
yeah.
not in a spot on the field where he was going to get
Right.
help.
Exactly.
In the center circle, the referee's on his own. That's an island.
Yep.
No help. I mean, punching a guy in the face or the Zidane headbutt, that's a different story. But
Yep.
run-of-the-mill stuff, you're not going to be able to get help. In basketball,
Or like yesterday when the onside kick, they got help.
so football's a different story. Football and baseball are the best examples of, both in the rules and traditionally, it's expected for the officials to talk to each other.
Okay.
And part of that, and here's part of why. Name another sport in the United States besides football and baseball that has built-in pauses every 5 seconds.
Oh yeah, no.
In football, and I've refereed 5 years of football, high school football, and I've done some softball, although I didn't have partners, but football's the best example. We tell guys all the time when we're training, and I've done some of the training, we tell them you have way more time than you think you have, because when the ball's dead, yes, so maybe the crowd gets a little restless. We don't care. If you're not sure, stop and let's figure it out.
Absolutely.
You can't do that in soccer.
No.
You can't do that in soccer. Even less than basketball, you can't do that because the clock's moving. People expect the traditional feel of the game is for the game to continue. So even if he knew instantly that he was incorrect, he may or may not have. I don't know. But you can't. You've made the decision. You got to eat it.
No, and so I think your point of when I watched the replay, my immediate thought was he tucked his legs back in the traditional dive
Yep.
methodology.
Yep.
And as soon as he did that sealed the deal, and that gave him the card. And so I bring it up because, I like to be boisterous about it. But
No.
the reality was there was a few calls he made that were suspect. He was not the best overall, and I'm not going to ask you to go through every one of them. But
And I don't remember. But
Zach Scott's one was kind of iffy.
I was only half watching that game. I had some stuff
issues
going on,
here
so.
or whatever. But my point was on Alonso. It felt it was frustrating because it was Alonso's first game back, and immediately I'm like, he's
it's
on
very
4 cards,
frustrating.
and I knew he was on 4 cards.
So let me talk about awareness in officiating.
Yeah.
So
Are you aware of how many cards people are on when you come into the game?
probably not. No.
Okay.
That's not the kind of awareness I'm talking
Okay.
about. So and honestly, I don't want referees to know that.
No.
That's a league thing. Okay, I'm going to back up even more. We're going to get into nerd stuff
That's
here.
fine. Great.
There's the laws of the game.
Yep.
And that governs what happens between the lines, inside the white lines.
Yep.
Which includes the white line. There's also the rules of competition, and referees are not supposed to think about the rules of competition.
Okay, good.
So the MLS rules that govern who can be on the roster and when you get suspended for yellow cards and all of that stuff, that's not the referee's job. And in fact, we are trained in just about every sport, we are trained not to think about that.
Right.
That's not our job. The league gets to decide what's the penalty for the stuff that happens on the field. So in some leagues, violent conduct is 3 games instead of 1. In some leagues, it's 2 games. In some leagues, all red cards are 2 games. That's up to the league. That's not the referee's decision. And that comes in high school sports a lot.
Yep.
Because in Washington, if you get ejected from a high school sporting event, you sit 1 game. In some states, it's more. But let's talk about soccer. 2 yellow cards for a little tug on the shirt, that's a tactical foul, and it's a game penalty. It's not a misconduct.
No.
A tactical foul is more like an intentional foul for wrapping the guy up at the end of the game than it's like a technical foul. But a red card is a red card is a red card as far as the state is concerned. So you get a second yellow. Should you be suspended for the game? Because it's different. Referees' job's not to think about that. They have the rules. They enforce the rules of the game. And whatever penalties the governing body, that's up to them. And referees aren't supposed to think about that stuff. It's hard, but do you really want the referee thinking about, well, he's going to miss the derby next week if I send him off, when you're deciding if it's yellow or red? That shouldn't be what they're thinking about.
Don't make me like referees.
Yeah.
You're ruining my narrative.
Come
no,
on.
I'm kidding.
That's my job.
Actually, this is what we talked about offline a little bit. We didn't go into the details of it, but this is what I was hoping for. It was a little bit more of the reality of it.
Please don't get me wrong. Frustration with officiating is universal as a fan.
Yeah.
I don't expect that to not be true
Right.
in my games or anybody else's
Yeah.
games. But it does get to a point where, and this happens on the official side too,
Yep.
where there's a lack of understanding. If
Yep.
you are an official and you don't ever go to a game as a fan, you're missing part of the experience.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly most fans don't understand that other side of the experience.
Yep.
So everyone's got their different way of sensing and experiencing what's going on.
Yeah. So let's just back up. Let's go to a different tact for a moment.
Great.
We'll come back to this.
Yeah.
As a referee, what's the largest kind of game like you've refereed? Have you refereed
In soccer or in total?
Anything.
I was honored to work the 2B girls state final in Spokane this last year.
How many people? And loud crowd. I guess what I'm really asking is
it was pretty loud. It was
Okay.
probably 6,000 people.
Okay, so and in some environments, well, like Starfire,
Spokane Arena,
Okay,
yeah.
so Starfire would 6,000 people would be it's insane, right?
Yeah.
You hear everything.
It would
This
be like
was-
the U.S. Open match.
This
Right.
was so. Have you been to a Washington basketball state tournament?
No.
They run 2 courts
no,
in the same
none.
building. So
Okay.
that's why they don't have it at the Key or at UW, because they try and run 2 courts in the same
okay.
building. So there's boys and girls going on at the same time.
Yep.
So during the championships, they move them all to one end. So
Yep.
it's half of Spokane Arena. There's a curtain down the middle. And the lower deck was basically full.
Okay.
So the upper deck had a scattering, but it's half of the lower bowl at Spokane Arena.
Okay.
So probably about 4,500.
Okay, but still, so it's a good amount of crowd.
Yep.
Do you hear the crowd?
Hell yes.
Okay.
You don't hear. So you absolutely hear the crowd as a whole.
Yeah.
At that level, you don't hear individual voices.
Yeah.
Unless you are, for whatever, like if you're the back judge at CenturyLink Field and you're on the back of the goal
Yeah.
line there, you could probably hear the guys in the North End suites.
Right.
Or the guys in the Hawk's
Or the
Nest.
Hawk's Nest.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. They're probably too high up.
Well,
but
this guy's pretty loud.
you might be able to hear Hugo.
Yeah. Okay.
But unless it's basically anything above JV basketball,
Yeah.
where there's 30, 40 people there, and you get into varsity games, you can't hear individual voices anymore,
Yeah, okay.
and that's a good thing.
That's why I'm
That's a
asking.
good thing.
That's really where I was trying to go to.
You do develop a skin as a referee,
Yeah.
and you have to. You absolutely have to, or you're not going to make it. And I almost quit in my second basketball season, and it wasn't from fans, it wasn't from parents, it was freaking intramurals. Really? And I'll tell you, intramurals is brutal.
Really?
Yeah, just a quick side here. Intramurals is brutal because nobody's any good. They all think they're good. They all want it to have the intensity of the NBA, but if the referee treats it like the NBA and enforces things like technical fouls for swearing, then you're big time in them.
Yeah.
You can't win.
No.
So once I got established in high school ball, I gave intramurals up pretty quick. But
that's awesome.
You develop the skin because it's not about you.
Yep.
It's not about you. It's about the game. And part of the game, and maybe I wish it were less a part of the game, and most officials probably do, but it's a part of the game that people get frustrated and yell and vent, and it's emotional. Sports is an emotional thing, and we all understand that.
Is there a call that you wish you could take back?
Only one?
Only one.
Only
Jesus
one.
Christ.
If there's
2 or
call,
3 a game for 10 years.
Yeah.
There's one.
That's
There's
the
one that
reality.
stands out.
Believe it or not, I'm going to go all the way back to a JV game in my second season.
Wow.
It's the only time I messed the wrong team won.
Wow.
And this is a 2-man system, which a lot of JV games are. Washington's all 3-person, but it's a 2-man game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just me and my partner, and when it's a 2 official game in basketball, you don't have any help. You're on an island.
Wow.
In 3-person, you can usually get some help from somewhere.
Yeah.
If you're on the ball, someone else is at least half looking at it.
Yep.
But in 2-person, they got 6 other players. You got your matchup and whatever else. I was the lead official, which is the guy on the baseline, and we were in transition with less than 20 seconds in the game, and the guy was running down the key right toward me and passed the ball to another guy who was right under the basket, right in the middle. I followed the ball. Ball went up, in, buzzer, game. The guy who was coming down the lane absolutely blew up a stationary defender, and it was right in my lap, and I missed it. I just didn't see it. And
This is like 10 years ago.
yeah,
Wow.
it sticks with you. If there's one thing I want you to know about referee, I forget who was the referee on the game with the Aussie yellow card. I can't remember.
I knew you were going to ask it. Damn
Okay,
it.
I can't remember who the referee was.
Uncle. Fucking Ted Uncle.
I
Yeah.
guarantee you that Ted Uncle is more upset about that than you are.
No, he wouldn't. No.
I guarantee.
I
Aaron,
think I
Nope.
remembers
Look me-
that call against
Aaron,
Panama.
look me in the eye.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Nope. Do you think? Okay. How about Mr. Arms? What's his name? Salazar. Do you think he's more upset about calling spurting off the line in that playoff game in Kansas City?
Kansas
for the
City.
Open
I
Cup,
don't think he would say he was wrong.
or stealing my freaking first class seat the next day?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I guarantee you he doesn't remember that. I don't think he thinks
Dude.
that
Oh yeah, he stole my
I
first
would
class
have
seat.
socked him in
Yeah.
the face.
there's so.
I was first
let's
class all
talk
the way to
about
the
levels
airport.
of wrong.
Sorry, man. I'm just saying.
No.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's talk about levels of wrongness. If you set down a 50-50 marker,
Yeah.
is it more likely that most officials don't call that against spurning than do? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fewer people will call that. Fewer people will call that than will not call that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Is he demonstrably wrong? No, he's not.
No, he wasn't. No.
And
but
it's an
Jimmy Nielsen was also way off his line, and
Yes, he
everyone
was.
knew too.
And I'm not. I was.
I know.
I was
No.
upset watching that game too. Don't
was
get me
there.
wrong.
No.
But the ones that stick out to you are one of two things. They're either the ones where you were dead wrong and
Yeah.
you just fucked it up.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
they're the ones where you're not sure and it mattered.
Yep. Right.
So I'll tell you another story, and I'm going back to basketball because I've refereed more of basketball than anything
Yeah.
else. This was not this last spring, not the spring before, but 2.5 years ago. I had my first girls regional level basketball game. So this is the state tournament round of 16. It's played at local sites.
Sweet 16. Okay.
They can't call it that because it's trademarked by the NCAA and the state of Indiana.
Wow.
Or no, is it Kentucky? No, it's Indiana has the Sweet 16. Kentucky has March Madness, I think.
Wow.
But it's the round of 16. It's the state tournament, but it's not at the state tournament site. So the winner goes, in this case, to Spokane, and the loser's done for the year.
Okay.
This is the first time I've worked at this level. And it's almost the same situation as I was telling you about in the other game, except it didn't have a pass. It was a 2-point game. It was a team, St. John Endicott from the east side of the state against Tulalip from right around here. And Tulalip had the ball down by 2 points with 10 seconds left. And the girl went down the lane and just ran over her defender. It was, frankly, a pretty easy call.
Yeah.
The defender was there forever.
Yep.
Offense, we're going this way. Boo, coach is mad. Yeah. On the floor, not a big deal. Not because the call was not an easy one, but just because of the moment. between the end of the game and about 2 hours later, I went from, damn, I nailed that, to, I'm pretty sure I missed it. When's the film available? Okay? And maybe this is just me as far as the, maybe the intensity of it is more me than other guys. Because I am a perfectionist, and you guys can sense this about me, I'm sure. And Hugo saw the notes that I had gotten ready for the game.
Over with the notes, and I was like, wow.
And that was just half of it.
But see, I think the difference between you and Ted Uncle, you have a heart and he doesn't.
So
I almost said it with a straight face. I'm sorry, but that guy just. Ugh!
Everybody's got, and
I know.
And I've got coaches who get under my skin like that. And every fan has an official or a crew or a moment like
and
that.
And Ted Uncle wouldn't be number one. I mean, he is not.
But I guarantee.
I think you're right, though. I think
I'm certain that he was more upset about it than you were, and the reason is that you were frustrated because your player that you like doesn't get to play in the next game.
Exactly.
He just fucked up on national television.
Yeah, right. No, true.
In front of thousands and thousands of people who know it.
Okay, here's a question for you.
Don't messing up in front of thousands of people.
I'll let you go on. I'll let you go on, but you don't get to that level without wanting to be right all of the time.
No, you're right.
You don't get to that level without needing to be good at what you do, and when you're not, it kills you.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct, and we all do that in our daily lives.
Absolutely.
And so it's fun as a fan. And we're just we're a fan podcast. We're having fun. I'm making light of this.
I know,
obviously,
man. I mispronounced a couple names. I'm like, oh, it kills me when
I'm gonna go ahead and call out Corey Rockwell, who's my friend on Twitter. We go back and forth all the time.
Corey. He's great.
He fucks up.
Yeah.
And we call him out on it, and it's funny, but. That's just kind of the deal, and everybody knows that people are going to get upset. And if you had a beer with Ted Uncle or Ricardo Salazar, everything would be fine.
Well, I had a beer with Ricardo Salazar,
and
then he stole my first class seat the next day, anyways. And I bought the beer, just so we're clear.
All right.
So I have a question for you.
Go.
This is a hard-hitting question, and then we actually have to go to our normal questions in a minute.
Okay.
But do you make more money? Do you make more money from your salary? Or from the bags of cash that you're handed in the locker room after the game? I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I had to get that in there.
That's pretty good.
But
by the way, that's the one.
Booster Club.
That's the one. Okay, that's the one.
That's one.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'm joking. Okay, so we have to ask you some questions that we ask every fan, every guest of the show, and then if anybody else here has any questions, feel free to ask. We're here. We're about probably 10 minutes away from wrapping up.
Great. Bring the questions, guys.
Biggie or Tupac?
I don't like rap, honestly.
Wow, that's a first. That is actually first. Even Alan Hinton was like trying to think of something to answer that.
I honestly can't name a song by either one. I don't like rap. I don't listen to it.
Go listen to Tribe Called Quest.
Okay.
Go listen to something Diggable Planets.
Macklemore.
And Macklemore, but
I can. Rap's okay in stadiums.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you played some for me, I'm sure I would recognize it from just being a jock jam for 40 years or whatever, but I don't know any of it.
That's fine. Okay, that's cool. That's a good answer. Fair
All
enough.
right. Favorite kind of taco filling?
Filling? Black olives.
No.
The actual. Oh, seasoned ground beef. Seasoned ground beef. When it's good. It's got to be good. Taco Bell is crap.
No carne asada?
I love steak.
Okay.
I don't like steak tacos very much.
What about, carnitas?
It's okay. There's pork, right?
Yeah.
It's okay. Properly seasoned ground beef, and my wife and I have we don't buy packets anymore. We got a mixture of spices that we use. Yeah. I will take that any day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
With onions, black olives, and cheese and tomatoes.
Olives out.
No
olives.
I'll take olives, dude.
No olives.
I like olives.
No olives. So, favorite Girl Scout cookie?
I always buy Thin Mints and Tagalongs.
What about Samoas?
Coconuts are not my favorite thing in the world, but I will eat them. I will eat Samoas if there's nothing else.
If there's
cookies is better than no cookies.
I'm glad you had a good time. Your first and only show on SonarFeed.
It's been nice knowing you too, jackass.
That's awesome.
Which one of the two is my favorite varies year to year. This year, the Tagalongs were the shit.
Yep, that's right.
They're
frozen.
Good.
Actually, frozen Tagalongs.
Frozen Thin Mints are better than frozen Tagalongs, in my opinion.
No.
I don't have anything left after
Where do you live?
3 weeks. After.
Exactly.
I'm just like a week.
That's okay.
Okay, so the secret's going to be out here. Go to Walmart. Nowhere else, just Walmart, and go to the cookie aisle, and they have basically Tagalongs in the cookie aisle. They're so good.
Yeah,
they're bad for me.
Real Tagalongs are so good, though.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I love that. Okay. I'm trying to think what other questions. Anyone else have any questions in the audience here or online?
I
Any
forgot
questions?
to mention one earlier, and it's
Oh, yeah, Dave, good.
Favorite former sounder.
Favorite
former
sounder?
Great question.
So it will be Zach Scott as soon as he retires.
Yes,
As
yeah,
a Zag,
yeah.
I've met him
Yeah.
a couple times at the Gonzaga events. Currently, my former favorite there's the professional broadcaster for you. Favorite former sounder. I guess it's got to be Roger Levesque.
Yeah.
A community guy, a
Yep.
funny guy.
Yep.
A ballsy guy with the celebration in Portland.
Yeah.
Aaron Heinzen was calling that game, by the
Oh,
way.
that's hilarious.
Roger's pretty off. I've never met him, but he seems like a pretty
He was on
put
the
together.
show,
He
and
seems
he
like a
is-
pretty put together guy.
He's cool, man.
So he's one of those guys. So we do the show. Yeah, we still should. He's one of those guys that I still see him like randomly wherever I am, and he goes,
Sure.
"Aaron, how you doing?"
Wow,
And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like, what? Like, why? I mean,
that's awesome.
It's
It is,
it
dude.
really
It's
is.
cool,
dude.
There's
That
something
fits,
special
though.
about him, though.
That
Yeah,
really
he's
something
fits.
really special about
Yeah.
him.
He is, dude, man.
Yeah.
Like
Favorite goal celebration?
Favorite goal celebration.
from Lisa Bookworm
So
on Twitter.
I was not watching 48 Seconds when it happened.
Right.
That one's pretty cool. My favorite one I've seen in person, and it wasn't a planned celebration or whatever. My favorite one I've ever seen in person was when Zakawani scored when he came back. I was in the North End for that, and it was right in front of me.
Yeah.
And that was the most emotional, awesome thing.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's good. Good
one.
answer.
Good one.
Armor Crass, Jeremy here wants to know Vlasic or Clausen Pickles. Choose wisely. Pickles out.
No, pickles in.
Pickles are good. Pickles are good in the right place.
In the right
Correct.
place. Exactly.
They are overused in American cuisine.
They are. Fried
But
pickles
they're
here are pretty good. I will say that.
I almost went that way, but
Potato salad?
we always had Clausens growing up, but
Yeah.
I don't really care all that much.
Grandma says Freddie was her favorite former.
Freddie's great.
Yeah.
Freddie's
So-
great, and he was really fun. When the Sounders joined MLS in 2009, I'd not been paying attention to soccer for a few years, and that was my conduit back, and I loved Freddie out of the gate. It was pretty cool.
I concur.
That's a good question. Though. We're gonna have to add that one to
Super
the
Freddie
stable.
Montero.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yep.
All right. So here we are, 8:53. It's time to start wrapping up. If anybody else here has a last minute question, if not, is there anything else you want to say before we kind of nail you in the last minute here?
I'm sorry, Grant Lagerway.
Yeah.
No,
That's awesome.
it's been this year, not just for soccer. I was lucky enough to get to work a state final, to work some 4-year games. My son was born last December. It's been, I feel incredibly lucky for all the cool stuff I've gotten to be a part of this year, and I really appreciate you guys having me on. It's neat to feel more integrated with this awesome community.
Yeah.
Dude.
Well, I for one, I love the work you're doing.
Thank you.
Yep.
We talked a little bit about getting involved more, and
Yeah,
and we
absolutely.
need to talk more about that offline. About
I wish
that
you
whole
guys weren't all the
world.
way down here, man. I live in Linwood.
Where
I
you
work
at?
in
Oh, you're
Everett.
in Linwood.
Oh.
Okay.
I work at the Everett factory, but
okay.
this has been awfully fun.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll have to figure something out
Yep.
here because
Yeah.
there's many other opportunities that we're being asked to do and be involved in.
Good.
On a smaller level.
Yeah.
That might fit well with what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
And guys, come if you can't make it to the game
Yep.
Thursday night. At least tune in and watch Thursday
Yeah,
at
do
7:30.
it.
Austin's
Do
going
it.
down.
Do it.
all right. Let's see here. Let me make sure there's no more questions online, real quick. Hugo, do you want to say anything else while I do that?
No, man, I'm excited for Thursday, man. I am super excited. Like he said, everybody come down. If not, watch his feed. Trust me, he does a lot of work, like 2-3 hours, getting ready for these matches. So he's good at what he does. He takes it seriously. It's something that I'm kind of gonna incorporate more and more. Not that I wasn't, but like just more and more to it. Make sure you do all your pre-work to get
Yep.
it. Respect the opportunity, and
I certainly feel like I've not taken it lightly.
Yeah.
And
It shows.
whether as I said before, whether or not next year happens with this organization, it's been a ton of fun. I feel like I've grown hugely as a broadcaster, and I'm 30 years old. I got lots of future in front of me. I look forward to whatever it is.
That's awesome. Great. All right, boys and girls. So thank you for watching. Thanks for coming down to the Berliner Pub, as always. This is episode number 140 of SonarFeed. We will be back next Monday night. We are going to have a fan from Colorado, one of our online Twitter friends, Mackenzie Mac, is going to be in town,
really?
and he's going to come join us. It will probably be more of a lighthearted drinking session, maybe a little less PG than we were tonight, but we'll do that a little bit. And then we have a couple other guests. Oh, you're fine. I did too. Don't worry about it.
Dude.
We are definitely not rated, which is the good news.
Yeah.
We'll be back then, but for Nathan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks
you,
for
man.
having me,
It's
guys.
at Seattle Nathan on Twitter, as you can see on the screen.
Yep.
At MeVita Seattle Hugo, thank you as always.
Oh, yeah.
And then myself, Aaron Riley, Sonar Riley. Thank you all.
No question.
Good night, everybody.
We're going to go ahead and go out to Taylor Twellman real quick. We'll see you guys next week.
I like that.
You're watching the Sonar feed, and I have no idea what I'm talking about, and neither do they. You're watching the Sonar feed, and I have no idea what I'm talking about, and neither do they.